Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 203 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. When you are standing at the precipice of change, knowing that you cannot imagine yourself doing the same thing 5 or 10 years from now, you know it is time. It is time to move on to what is next. And even if what you have today is amazing, everything changes and ends. And whether it's the old way you've been doing things, or even just feeling like you're not truly utilizing your gifts, you feel something shifting inside. So today's podcast will help you understand what it looks like to be ready to let go of the old version of you and what will change for you when you truly let go. This past week, I was talking to some new friends and sharing what it's been like to go from this corporate warrior to entrepreneur, and how my husband once said to me, "You've completely reinvented yourself." And the funny thing is that I'm now more me than I ever was before, and yet so much has changed in order for me to make space for myself to come through. And I am so much more aware of how much can continue to change as life goes on. And if it wasn't for some driving force within me, or the wake-up calls that I've had, the deaths, or my daughter asking me, "Why are you so tired, Mom?" I don't know if I would have let go of the old version of myself years ago, the old career, the old life, and the way that I was working. Because what is so normal for us humans is homeostasis. We don't want to change. We want to be safe. And change creates a feeling of not being safe. And we are more scared of the unknown than we are of the known. And so even when we have a life we don't fully love or work that we know isn't really fulfilling our potential, we stay. And we don't think the grass is greener. We don't want to rock the boat. And people don't love going outside of their comfort zone, even if it means they're holding on to outdated versions of themselves. I think about it this way. When I was younger, I would see these women who still had the same hairstyle and makeup from like decades ago. And I wondered to myself why they wouldn't try new things. And I realized that it was likely because of the status quo and inertia. It took time and effort the first time they learned. And they likely then never changed it since the first time they learned, which is when they were in their teens or their 20s, or maybe their 30s. And that imprint is so strong. And it stayed. And it's not bad or wrong, but it just helped me understand how similar we humans behave with our lives, our careers, our ways of behaving. We are creatures of habit. We run these patterns, and our identity is just another habit or pattern that we have. So letting go of the past feels like we're letting go of a part of who we are. And there can be so much nostalgia, the good old days, and this idea of, oh, well, the way we used to do it here. Do you remember how we used to do things? When you keep bringing the past into your future over and over and over again, it's like this perpetual loop that cements. And then tomorrow becomes like yesterday. And I know this because some of the cultures and the places that we've worked at or we lived in, the families that we've been in, have such strong systems of behaving that even when we leave, we might still keep doing things the same way, even though no one's asking us to do it. And it's not wrong or right. It's just something to notice. And there's also the fear of failure. When we let go of the old version of ourselves, we think we let go of the past success that we've had as well. And we worry that maybe we won't succeed in this new identity, and that means we'll lose our reputation and everything we've worked so hard to build. I remember when I thought about stopping my pattern of taking on these intense burnout roles, I was worried about not utilizing all the experience I had or the education from my past. And this question kept coming up of what would it have been all for? It would seem like a waste. Yet I knew that even if I switched jobs or I started a business, that I would take myself everywhere I go, no matter what the company was, the shape or the size. I was the common denominator. My overworking tendencies, my perfectionism, my people-pleasing habits would all just come with me. And I also knew that if I didn't let go of the old version of me, that I wouldn't be letting in the more authentic version of myself. And this was the reason I was here in the first place, at a crossroads in my career, wanting something to change, having this kind of spiritual journey that I was recircling back from my youth on, and knowing that there was something there to it. And I knew that the old version was not sustainable. The old version was also a version of myself where I was hiding that spiritual part of me, or the full expression of my gifts and what I was talented at, what my strengths were, what I cared about personally also, not just professionally. And I was doing work that I was good at and most people would consider great or best in class at in terms of the companies or the roles. But I knew within myself that it wasn't the best of me. And what is entirely mind-boggling to me is that if we're this successful at things we don't truly have passion for or are endlessly curious about, how much are we leaving behind of ourselves? What are we not tapping into in terms of our full expression? And you're not just bored. You know you're ready for a different version of yourself in your career. You just don't know what it is next or if it's possible. You know that change is coming and you don't want to be on your heels wishing you made the first move. Examples: companies will restructure and you won't have a place anymore. Your leaders will change. You'll want to find a different leadership style to work with in the future. Your business will also change and you are ready to be strategic and see around the next corner. And if you don't think you're ready to let go of the old version of yourself, it's likely not true. You might not know what you want to do, but you know that something has to change. And this is why we're more ready than we realize. You're used to being in charge of your own life, your own destiny, and this is why you're willing to investigate what's next now. And so how do you know you're ready to let go? So some of the signs will look like dissatisfaction with your current situation. You might be grateful for so much in your life, your family, your partner, your work experiences, yet you know that you want to be even more fulfilled and that it would help your confidence, your stress levels, your health, your relationships. And if you are really living that life that you know is an authentic expression, you would feel all of that come together more. Who you are, what drives you, and what you want to do with your time. Another sign will be that you're open to change. In the past, you weren't as open, but now you feel like you're curious about what could be next for you. Your antennas up and you're thinking about exploring new ideas. You're trying new things. You're even thinking about, well, what would it look like to take some risks in pursuit of discovering more about yourself and what you want. You may also know that you're ready because you're starting to seek out self-development or personal growth on your own time. You're starting to try on some new beliefs about yourself and the world around you. And you're also learning some new skills. Maybe you're stepping out of your comfort zone in these different ways. Often people will start to take courses or learn new things or travel to some new places or even this might be their first foray into spirituality and thinking about these aspects of themselves that they might not have considered before. You also start seeing that if you keep staying the same, you'll soon be a smaller version of yourself because your self-doubt keeps growing. When you know that something's about to change or you're ready for a change and you don't do anything about it, there's something within you that starts to be on to yourself and say, hey, how come you're not doing the thing? Like, now. There are times when you're like, I don't know. No, I'm just doing my thing. And it's like, that's all I'm doing. And I'm not even aware that things could be changing or I'm ready for a change. But now you know. And there's something inside you that keeps you awake and aware. And the reason that this comfort is there is because it's trying to help you close that gap and to be ready for something to change. So it's a bit of this clue, right? The universe, the intuition, the body, the antennas are up, and it just knows that something is about to change. And that's often when people will start talking to me, listening to my stuff, reaching out, because they don't know what it is, but they know something is there and they want to be ready. And you will start to wonder, is it really true that I want to keep things the way they are? It's like not growing our income and realizing that there's inflation. So then we realize, wait, we need to or want to grow our income beyond this pace of inflation. Otherwise, our money is worth less as time goes on. And you start to see that when you don't start to make some moves and think about what it is you truly want, that this is not necessarily the intentional or purposeful life that you desired. So how do you actually let go of that old version of yourself? So I take people through a process where over the course of a year together, we work through this process that helps you figure out what their superpower edge is. This is their gifting. This is like the spiritual part of life and yourself that comes together. And how does it fit into your biggest goals around your career and your life? And how to embody it day to day. And then how to lead yourself and your relationships with this knowing. And they create new careers, they create these dream jobs as they get really clear on what it is they want and why. Their leadership improves and their relationships improve as well. And this kind of transformation helps people have increased confidence in their abilities, in their strengths, as they see themselves being grounded and finally doing the things that they've wanted to do. And the way they work is changing. And maybe they were worried about doing these things or they were scared of doing these things before, but they are seeing themselves handle these new and different challenges in these different ways. And it just builds this new self-image of themselves. And they figure out what they're not only best in class at, but how it actually benefits their entire lives when they live that way. It also provides more clarity, more direction in life as they know what their priorities and their values truly are. Not just on paper, but in the decisions they make about how they lead, the work they take, the way they are with the humans in their lives. I remember someone even said to me, this is like how specific it can get, and you'll know who you are if you're listening. Like, I want to be the kind of mom that people don't know, like, does she work? Does she not work? Because she's involved or she's doing all these things with the kids. And yet she has an incredibly fulfilling career and a confidence and knowing of what her gifts are. And guess what? Choices. And this all comes to fruition in this feels too good to be true, but I know this is my new baseline kind of way. And so when I say sometimes that, like, sometimes you're going to get all these opportunities, you're going to have to figure out, like, how do you navigate through all of this open channel of avenues and things that keep coming your way. That is true. Like, these are new and different skills that you embody. And then this is what drives that incredible sense of, this is a new and different version of myself. And that is what they are more than ready for. And that is what is possible. So even how you spend money, the way you dress, the way you spend your time, where you go, who you go with, it becomes more aligned with their purpose. They even have a sense of what they believe their purpose is. And purpose can be this massive question that people feel really uncomfortable with in terms of, well, I don't know, let's not go there. But they start to define their own personal definition of success, and it makes sense, like real life sense to them, not just some big vague idea about the world or the universe, but what matters in their lives as well. And they also start to release emotional burden. You will feel so much more emotional freedom when you let go, and you really let go, and you keep letting go. There becomes a lightness in how you make decisions, how you handle failure. You have so much more compassion for yourself and for other people, which improves your relationship with yourself and other people as well. And when you let go, you're more fully present. You have more awareness of what truly needs time and attention instead of worrying about everything, the past, the present, and the future. This anxiety loop that we tend to spin in releases. And this brings so much more calmness, focus to your daily life, less reactivity, less negative bias about everything. And it becomes just a little bit more clear on the day-to-day what you're truly dealing with and what you need to do. And one of the most transformative results of letting go of the old version of you are the myriad of opportunities that open up because you're ready. And I've talked about this before, but your energy feels different. A common thing that happens is other people notice and they will comment, something about you seems different. They start to see yourself the way you start to see yourself. You're capable, resilient, honest about who you are and what truly matters. And this energy feels clean to other people. It embodies a sense of leadership because they see that you're embracing change. You're helping them lead through uncertainty. You are open to these new ideas. You are growing in ways that are multifaceted personally and professionally, and people can smell congruency a mile away, I promise you. And so now the question becomes, what do you want for yourself? Are you ready to let go of the old version of yourself so that you can become even more authentic and give the best version of yourself to yourself and the world? Or do you want to continue to hold on to the past version of yourself? So if you want to let go, you're ready to let go of that old version, and you're like, I think I'm there. You are on the path of self-transformation. You are on the path of self-discovery. This is the next chapter, and I can help you actually figure out exactly how to create that fulfilling work that you love to do, how to actually get paid well, what that looks like, and how to spend time with loved ones. So if you're curious about experiencing these results for yourself, I want to invite you to watch the free training on how to stand out and lead. And you can go to mayemson.com/203 to get the link to that. And you can apply to join my Spiritual Achiever program, where you're going to create that next chapter with spiritual high performance strategies and leadership skills so that you can actually achieve time and financial freedom using my proven method. It is risk-free. You either start seeing results within your first month, or I give you your money back. So you can schedule your call at mayemson.com/contact, and I can't wait to hear from you. All right, my friends, have an amazing week, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening, It's time to own your best life.